Top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day. Okay. All right, y'all. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Let me adjust this table here. It is March the 2nd. March the 2nd, 2020. We are on day 84. 1 Samuel 22, 23, and 24. All right, y'all. We'll get started. Hold on. Get some water. My mouth has just been so dry. It's a water bottle. It's called the coldest water. I filled this up with ice yesterday on water. Trying to get this water in. They ain't lying when they say this is the coldest water bottle. I think they make this from the material that they make airplanes from. It's ice cold. Alright, y'all. Hey, calm down, y'all. Alright, so 1 Samuel chapter 22. David therefore departed thence and escaped to the cave of Adullam. And when his brethren and all his father's house heard it, they went down thither to him. And every one that was in distress, and every one that was in debt, and every one that was discontented gathered themselves unto him, and he became a captain over them. And there were with him about 400 men. Hey, all right, you need more. That's enough. All right, go ahead. That's enough grapes. She's filling up her bowl with grapes. Children, you gotta love them. Then David went thence to Mizpah of Moab, and he said unto the king of Moab, Let my father and my mother, I pray thee, come forth and be with you till I know what Yah will do for me. And he brought them before the king of Moab, and they dwelt with him all the while that David was in the hold. And the prophet Gad said unto David, Abide not in the hold, depart and get thee into the land of Judah. And David departed and came to the forest of Hareth. No more, baby. No, Zay can come pick his own grapes. Thank you. Let him pick his own grapes. Go ahead. You go get to the table. All right, to the baby. And when Saul heard that David was discovered and the men were with him, now Saul abode in Gibeah under a tree in Ramah, having his spear in his hand, and all his servants were standing about him. Then Saul said unto his servants that stood about him, Hear now, ye Benjamites, will the son of Jesse give every one of you fields and vineyards, and make you all captains of thousands and captains of hundreds? That all of you have conspired against me, and that there is none that showeth me that my son hath made a league with the son of Jesse, and there is none of you that is sorry for me, or showeth unto me that my son hath stirred up my servant against me, to lie in wait as at this day? Then answered Doeg the Edomite, which was set over the servants of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse coming to Nob, to Abimelech the son of Ahitub, and he inquired of Yahuwah for him, and gave him victuals, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine. Then the king sent to call Ahimelech the priest, the son of Ahitub, and all his father's house to the priests that were in Nob. And they came all of them to the king. And Saul said, Hear now thy son of Ahitub. And he answered, Here I am, my lord. And Saul said unto him, Why have ye conspired against me, thou the son of Jesse, and that thou hast given him bread and a sword, and hast inquired of Yah for him, that he should rise against me to lie in wait as at this day? Then Ahimelech answered the king and said, And who is so faithful among thy servants as David, which is the king's son-in-law, and goeth at any bidding, and is honorable in thine house? Did I then begin to inquire of Yah for him? Be it far from me. Let not the king impute anything unto his servant, nor to all the house of my father, for thy servant knew nothing of all this, less or more. And the king said, Thou shalt surely die, Ahimelech, thou and all thy father's house. And the king said unto the footmen that stood about him, Turn and slay the priests of Yahuwah, because their hand is also with David, and because they knew when he fled and did not show it to me. But the servants of the king would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priests of Yahuwah. And the king said to Doeg, Turn thou and fall upon the priests. And Doeg the Edomite turned, and he fell upon the priests, and slew on that day 85 persons that did wear the linen ephod. And Nob, the city of the priests, smote he with the edge of the sword, both men and women, children and sucklings, and oxen and asses and sheep with the edge of the sword. And one of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Ahitub, named Abithar, escaped and fled after David. And Abithar showed David that Saul had slain Yahuwah's priest. And David said unto Abithar, I knew it that day when Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul, I have occasioned the death of all the persons of thy father's house. Abide thou with me, fear not, for he that seeketh my life seeketh thy life, but with me thou shalt be in safeguard. 1 Samuel chapter 23. Then they told David, saying, Behold, the Philistines fight against Keilah, and they rob the threshing floors. Therefore David inquired of Yahuwah, saying, Shall I go and smite these Philistines? And Yahuwah said unto David, Go and smite the Philistines, and save Keilah. And David's men said unto him, Behold, we be afraid here in Judah. How much more if we be come to Keilah against the armies of the Philistines? Then David inquired of Yahuwah yet again. And Yahuwah answered him and said, Arise, go down to Keilah, for I will deliver the Philistines into thy hand. So David and his men went to Keilah and fought with the Philistines, and bore away their cattle, and smote them with a great slaughter. So David saved the inhabitants of Keilah. And it came to pass, when Abithar, the son of Ahimelech, fled to David to Keilah, that he came down with an ephod in his hand. And it was told Saul that David was come to Keilah. And Saul said, Yah hath delivered him into my hands, for he is shut in by entering into a town that has gates and bars. And Saul called all the people together to war to go down to Keilah and besiege David and his men. And David knew that Saul secretly practiced mischief against him, and he said to Abithar the priest, Bring hither the ephod. And then said David, O Yahuwah, God of Israel, thy servant hath certainly heard that Saul seeketh to come to Keilah to destroy the city for my sake. He said, throw it away. Throw it away because it's wet, but it's a grape. Okay. We'll put that right there in that bowl, okay? Will the men of Keilah deliver me up into his hand? Will Saul come down as thy servant hath heard? O Lord God of Israel, I beseech thee, tell thy servant. And Yahuwah said he will come down. Then David, will the men of Keilah deliver me and my men into the hand of Saul? And Yahuwah said, they will deliver thee up. Then David and his men, which were about 600, arose and departed out of Keilah, and went whithersoever they could. And it was told Saul that David was escaped from Keilah, and he forbade to go forth. And David abode in the wilderness in the strongholds, and remained in the mountain in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul sought him every day, but Yahuwah delivered him not into his hand. And David saw Saul was about to come out to seek his life, and David was in the wilderness of Ziph in the wood.
This hurts.
What do you mean it hurts? Okay, don't try and stuff it all in your mouth. Just bite it. It is a pretty large grape. Bite it 2 or 3 times. And Jonathan, Saul's son, arose and went to David in the wood and strengthened his hand in Yahuwah. And he said unto him, Fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find thee, and thou shalt be king over Israel. And I shall be next unto thee, and that also Saul my father knoweth. And they two abode and made a covenant before Yahuwah. And David abode in the wood, and Jonathan went into his house. Then came up the Ziphites to Saul to Gibeah, saying, Doth not David hide himself with us in the strongholds in the wood, in the hill of Hakeilah, which is on the south side of Jeshimon? Now therefore, O king, come down according to all the desire of thy soul to come down, and all our part shall be to deliver him into the king's hand. And Saul said, Blessed be ye of Yahuwah, for ye have compassion on me. Go, I pray you, prepare yet, and know and see this place where his haunt is, and who hath seen him there. For it is told to me that he dealeth very subtly. See therefore, and take knowledge of all the lurking places where he hideth himself, and come yet again to me with a certainty, and I will go with you. And it shall come to pass, if he be in the land, that I will search him out throughout all the thousands of Judah. And they arose and went to Ziph before Saul, but David and his men were in the wilderness of Maon in the plain on the south side of Jeshimon. Hold on, Zach. And And Saul also and his men went to seek him. And they told David wherefore he came down into a rock and abode in the wilderness of Maon. And when Saul heard that, he pursued after David in the wilderness of Maon. And Saul went on this side of the mountain, and David and his men on that side of the mountain. And David made haste to get away for fear of Saul. For Saul and his men compassed David and his men round about to take them. And there came a messenger unto Saul, saying, Haste thee and come, for the Philistines have invaded the land. Wherefore Saul returned from pursuing after David and went against the Philistines. Therefore they called that place Selahamalekoth. And David went up from thence and dwelt in the strongholds at En-gedi. Last chapter for today, 1 Samuel chapter 24. And it came to pass when Saul was returned from following the Philistines, that it was told him, saying, Behold, David is in the wilderness of En-gedi. Go ahead, cut it, put it back in the bowl, Bella. And Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all of Israel and went to seek David and his men upon the rocks of the wild goats. And he came to the sheepcotes by the way where was a cave, and Saul went in to cover his feet, and David and his men remained in the sides of the cave. And the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day of Yahuwah said unto thee, Behold, I will deliver thine enemies into thy hand, that thou mayest do to him as it shall seem good unto thee. Then David arose and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe privately. And it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him, because he had cut off Saul's skirt. And he said unto his men, Yahuwah forbid that I should do this thing unto my master, Yahuwah's anointed, to stretch forth my hand against him, seeing that he is anointed of Yahuwah. So David stayed his servants and the words, and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. And David also arose afterward and went out of the cave and cried after Saul, saying, My lord the king. And Saul looked behind him. David stooped with his face to the earth and bowed himself. And David said to Saul, Wherefore hearest thou men's words, saying, Behold, David seeketh thy hurt. Behold, this day thine eyes have seen now that Yahuwah have delivered thee today into mine hand in the cave. And some bade me kill thee, but my eyes spared thee. And I said, I will not put forth my hand against my Lord, for he is Yahuwah's anointed. Moreover, my father, see, yea, the skirt of thy robe in my hand, for in that I cut off the skirt of thy robe and killed thee not. Know thou and see, there is neither evil nor transgression in my hand, and I have not sinned against thee, yet thou huntest my soul to take it. Yahuwah judge between me and thee, and Yahuwah avenge me of thee, but my hand shall not be upon thee. As said the proverb of the ancients, wickedness proceeded from the wicked, but my hand shall not be upon thee. After whom is the king of Israel come out? After whom dost thou pursue? After a dead dog? After a flea? Yahuwah therefore be the judge, and judge between me and thee, and see, and plead my cause, and deliver me out of thy hand. And it came to pass, when David had made an end of speaking these words unto Saul, that Saul said, Is this thy voice, my son David? And Saul lifted up his voice and wept. And he said to David, Thou art more righteous than I, for thou hast rewarded me good, whereas I have rewarded thee evil. And thou hast showed this day how that thou hast dwelt well with me, for as much when Yahuwah had delivered me into thy hand, thou killed me not. For if a man find his enemy, will he let him go well away? Wherefore Yahuwah reward thee good for all that thou hast done unto me this day. Now behold, I know well that thou shalt surely be a king, and that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in thy hand. Swear now therefore unto me by Yahuwah that thou wilt not cut off my seed after me, and that thou wilt not destroy my name out of my father's house. And David swore unto Saul, and Saul went home, but David and his men got up into the hole. And that, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. That was 1 Samuel 22, 23, and 24. We will have a couple more days here in the book of 1 Samuel, and then we start 2 Samuel, and then we'll be about our way, beautiful people. So with that being said, recap, it is Monday, March the 2nd, 2020, day 84. All right, y'all. So now it is time for us to say goodbye to all our family, at least until tomorrow. All right, may Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. All right, beautiful people, I love you all. And I will see you bright and early in the morning. Peace.
I'm gonna do